Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our today's streaming. I'm Nami from Koreafly, and welcome to our today's streaming. We have another chapter of our Bloom Yours, and today we will talk about learning and especially from others, and discovering your potential and improving your skills and how you can utilize those skills to succeed in Japan, etc. And maybe, let's say, you have great technical skills, but you see somebody with good communication skills. And maybe for this streaming, you can learn how to learn from that person and utilize yourself to enhance your skills to further as well. So if you're interested in always challenging yourself and always improving yourself, please tune in. Great. So let me share my screen. I hope today's meeting will be very useful for you. Great. So, as I have just mentioned, that today I would like to talk about how to quickly improve your skills in your working environment, especially if you are, let's say, working in Japan or if you want to learn work in Japan. But I feel like there's always improvement for learning from others. So, please tune in. So, I would like to start off as why is this important and how we can learn from others. So, basically, these two pointers where it will help you. Great. So, the reason why this is very important, you might know what you need to work on to learn from others. And others also can bring you new ideas that you haven't thought of it yet. So, basically, let's say how to do this. You know, you understand that you need to learn from others, but how you basically have to do this in order to be able to understand this. Um, we think that these three steps that you can see from the slide start by somebody finding somebody who is different. Maybe this can be your peer, your colleague, your senpai, person who is a team leader, or anybody who is different than you and also uniquely have different experience than you. So after picking a person, uh, the next step is to start by comparing how this person is different from you. That can be anything, such as presentation skills, programming skills, coding, designing, anything that you can think of, how this person is uniquely different from you can be number two, where you can find it. And realize what kind of skill this is. Um, this can be programming skills that, let's say, you think of it, but actually, it might be a way of writing a clean code or being organized. It can be any kind of skill that is the root or the essence of this skill. So, I would like to start off an example from here. So, let's say your team leader gives very great explanations and visual presentations about super difficult projects. And you always have troubles or you always struggle with um, explaining about these concepts or explaining about these super difficult projects. So, going by of these three steps, how we can find out that you can learn from others is that, let's say, in this case, it would be starting by somebody, start to find someone is your team leader. And number two is start by comparing how this person is different. So basically, because your team leader is very good at making visual and step by step presentation skills, but actually presentation skills can differ to some people, But realizing what kind of skill this is basically summarizing long, complex stories into easy to understand context, easy to understand order, or basically connecting these complex stories can be this skill is needed. So by going through these three steps, you can find somebody you can work from on or from learn, and you can find what you need to work on to improve your current skills. So you understood how you can use these three steps, but how? So maybe you can use this basic structure as compliment, reason, and request. So let's say that we have to go back here, that your team leader and the presentation skill, summarizing long story skill that you needed to work on badly for your next presentation, let's say. So um, the scenario is also in Japanese environment. So I will also show you how to approach this person in Japanese, how to approach it um, in a way that it's very genuine, that you will most likely to get a good impression from your team leader. All right. So number one, start off with a compliment. So go work on the presentation. It was very clear, and I learned so much from it. If you want to say this in Japanese, you can say the right below. プレゼンテーションお疲れ様でした。とてもわかりやすく勉強になりました。So you can use this expression for basically anything. You can take off the presentation part. You can maybe use it for speech, source codes, emails, competition, anything that you think that you would like to complement the other person's skill. So just take off the presentation and try to adjust it. And number two, the reason. Um, I always struggle explaining these difficult stories and subjects. Remember, the person has difficulties explaining these complex concepts in a easy to understand way. So how we can say that in Japanese is 私は複雑なテーマについてうまく伝えるのがとても苦手です。So you can use the last part of this sentence 〇〇とても苦手です。You can basically say, I struggle with writing clean code. I struggle with um, writing email that is understandable and straight to the point or so. You can adjust the first part into the latter part. So you can use the latter part for everything. 〇〇とても苦手です。So in this case, this person struggles with explaining difficult, complex stories. And we said the compliment, we said the reason, and third, we say the request. Maybe in English, we can say, could you share me your presentation technique so I can use it as a reference for now or for in the future? So in Japanese, where you can say this as わかりやすく伝えるためのアドバイスを教えてください. I think this is quite basic, where you can use it to ask for feedbacks or ask for advices from your team leader in this case, where you can use it for your own reference in the future. So let me go ahead, go over the points right now. So when you want to ask for, let's say you found your person that you want to learn from, and you also found that the skill that you want to work on. Let's use this basic structure as complementing and reasoning and requesting in Japanese to improve your current skills. So number one, complementing in Japanese is written here below, above. Number two, reasoning. And number three, requesting. So you can put these three examples together, or you can also just say it in a one by one. And you can write it, you can also tell it, whichever that is feasible to you to get um, help from your team leader. So I hope this was understandable so far. So let's go over the key points. Please use basic structure as complement, reason, request whenever you need to ask for help or you need to learn from others to enhance your current skills in your working environment. So I hope this was clear and helpful. And at the last, we have a special announcement. We have an online meetup coming on this Friday at 6 p.m. We have our event page on our Facebook. So if you're going, please click on the going. And I hope you have a nice time. And our online meetup will be about networking and how you can find what you need to work on to succeed in Japan. So I hope you can also join there as well. And that's all for my presentation in today's streaming. If you have any question, I will be receiving it from now on. So please write it in the comments. I will be receiving the comments for about, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes. So if you have any questions, please write in the down below. 千葉さん、ありがとうございます。いつも見てくださってありがとうございます。Great. Okay, so I believe we don't have another comments. So if you are watching this later after our streaming, please feel free to add your comment down below. I will be writing your comments. I will be answering to your comments or answering your questions about anything. はい、ジバさんありがとうございます。はい。ぜひミートアップに参加してください。今週の、金曜日18時から実施します。のでぜひぜひイベントページにて Going を押してください。はい。Great. Okay, so thank you very much for joining our today's streaming. I hope this was helpful and please tune into our next event, which is online meetup this Friday. I'll see you guys next time.